A new video has surfaced of what Sonic Frontiers used to look like back in 2021. As we knew it back then, the Sonic Rangers build, the exact one beta testers were speaking of back in 2021, literally almost word for word, especially since the top text says games in development in Japanese. Now, I don't know if I can actually show this in the video or if this video that I'm making right now will ever come to light, but if it does, then we're good. But that aside, just the first thing that stands out is the giant connected Kronos, Rhea, and Oranos. It's still in its original form with objects and all. Even Giganto's in his original location here. A big thing that stood out to me and many other people was how graphically more impressive this build is. Like when you specifically compare it how the Supersonic fight looks here versus how it does in the final game. Yeah, the difference in lighting and just overall effects is insane. It does kind of feel actually next gen and a graphical showcase. I did see a lot of people blame the Switch version specifically for this downgrade, and well, I do sort of understand where that's coming from. Games do generally look better before they are officially released. Some companies do it maliciously, but most of them do just test what the limitations are before they have to optimize for every console and etc. It's just changes that need to be made in development and not necessarily just the Switch holding it back. It definitely could have been the Switch holding it back for sure, but I don't think that's solely the reason why the game ended up looking as it did. Probably just something that needed to be done in the end. And I'm not a graphics junkie or anything. I really prefer gameplay over anything else, so I'm kind of glad it runs smoothly on the Switch. No problems there. And I never really minded how it looked either. Just that, of course, it would have looked cool if, if it looked like this, but I'm okay with what we got, honestly. Plus, the only real way to know what exactly happened is to hear it from the developers themselves. And considering how this thing made its way into the internet, I don't think we're ever gonna get that, but it would be nice. But oh well. And just overall some smaller differences that me and others noticed. The objects in the sky, the rails, platforms, etc. aren't really here, which seems to line up with how they described the world as empty feeling, like it was just a big sandbox for you to run around in and basically defeat enemies. But hard to say since we are literally working with seconds of footage. By the way, these in particular seem to be the red variants, which we only see in Chaos Island. So I wonder if we were gonna get harder ones later on, like even more harder, or even if they develop the other islands at this point. Those, and the caterpillar also makes an appearance with a completely different attack and everything. What? Honestly, just from this alone, I really preferred this one over the final one, mostly because we didn't have to ride rails and we didn't have to constantly fight with the controls to get it to work. So that's already a plus for me. And there's also this in the background I noticed, but I don't know what it is exactly. But maybe this could be where the tornado we read at the beginning ends up in the game, but we just never see it. But thinking back of how the cutscene played out, it did go into cyberspace with Tails, so I don't necessarily know what happened to it. But it does look like a cloud of smoke. And that's pretty much it. Other than the fact that Giganto could have seemingly jumped during the boss fight. That's insane. I really wish we could see more stuff like this, like directly from the developers, instead of it being leaked to us like this. Because then they get a chance to explain properly why each decision had to be made, like how Kishimoto on Twitter was explaining like, oh, the drift couldn't be implemented properly before, the game had to be shipped out, or how the spin dash was planned, but we couldn't get it to work, but now it's coming, we could get it from the source itself, not just like assuming things on the internet. And I really don't like when it's stuff like this comes out, because then people go like, why does it look graphically more impressive and then the final game looks like complete doo-doo and blah 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 blah, and then suddenly the game just becomes bad all of a sudden. I don't really like that mindset, never have. I don't know why people suddenly flip, but regardless, that aside, I do really wish we could get stuff like that, because it is really cool seeing like an early build of the game and like ideas that didn't make it in, and seeing like stuff that could be re-implemented into the future sequels that come out. That has always been so cool to me and will forever be. Same with seeing concept art. But yeah, I think I've said everything I wanted to say, so thanks for watching. And please, don't add the director on Twitter because of this. I don't think he can even answer stuff like this, so please just leave him alone, guys. This is just a human being. Leave him alone. Chill.